On a day when Russia has mounted the largest or perhaps the biggest ever missile assault on Ukraine, one of Ukraine's air defense systems from the S-300 has landed in Belarus. Belarus's news agency BelTA has actually confirmed, and they have released a picture of an S-300 missile landing somewhere in this region near the borders of Belarus on an empty field. Now, whether or not Belarus air defense was able to counter this is something which is subject to clarification. They're still investigating, but one of the S-300 missiles has landed in Belarus. Now, this is at a time when Russia has launched a massive missile attack pan-Ukraine, largely focused on the eastern and southern Ukraine areas. But also some of the missiles have landed as far as Lviv. Now, the last time around this happened, we had missiles falling at Lviv and the air defense system of Ukraine, resulting in one of the S-300 missiles landing in neighboring Poland. At that time, Ukraine had tried to deflect their own error as a missile attack by Russia into Poland, but it was countered by American agencies itself, and America itself came out and said that it was a mistake and it was an error on part of the Ukrainians. So this is huge embarrassment for Volodymyr Zelensky, because this is the second time that his air defense missile systems have actually landed in neighboring countries, threatening a massive spillover of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russia has been very, very clear that its target is only Ukraine, and also securing Russian borders and ensuring that there is no presence of NATO or NATO-allied entities towards the east of the Dnipro River. So this is where Russia has tried to concentrate its attacks, and what it wants to do is connect Moscow and mainland Russia via Donetsk, Luhansk, straight up to the Sea of Azov and of course towards the Black Sea. So this is the portion which Russia wants to seal off on the eastern side of the Dnipro River. This is the Dnipro River which flows right through and cuts across Ukraine. Now, what Volodymyr Zelensky will be at a loss to now explain is how is it that the Ukrainian air defense systems, rather than countering the missile attack by the Russians, are landing in neighboring Belarus and in Poland like they have done in the past. Now, that is something which Zelensky will have to answer, although this also shows the amount of pressure Russia is towards sealing its deal as far as redrawing the map of Ukraine is concerned. This conflict, the more it extends, the larger perhaps the threat of it spilling over. Belarus is aligned towards Russia. Belarus has allowed its soil to be used by the Russians to mount missile attacks and also to land Russian troops on Belarusian soil, although Belarus very clearly says that it will not actively participate in the war, but Russia is using Belarus territory to mount an offensive from the north and put pressure on Kiev into this region. Now, this is where Kiev was bombarded. That's where the air defense missile systems have worked, and one of the missiles has spilled over and fallen into Belarus. But Volodymyr Zelensky will not get international support if this misfire of missiles continues.